Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and happy Friday. Today is Good Friday, so happy Good Friday if you are one of faith or if you believe in that stuff. So as promised, I'm here today with my little update on what I'm going to be doing forward on Mounjaro. Now, I have sort of known my plan. Like I've been working on my plan over the course of the past probably 2 weeks. However, I wanted to make sure that all of my ducks were in a row, straight lined up ducks, before I really came on here and talked to you guys about it, because there was a lot. You guys, if you've been following my channel, then you know that I am a researcher. I want to know all the facts. I want to get lots of different opinions. I want to do all of the things. So I definitely did that before making a decision. And so it took me a little bit longer. I am not one that just jumps into a decision quickly. I am definitely one that weighs things out. And this one was a big one for me to make. And so it took me a little bit longer to really pull the trigger, as you would say. So with all of that being said, I've mentioned in my last video that I was making a big change, and I did in fact do that. If you're new here, I have been on Mounjaro pens, the branded Mounjaro pens, since November of 2022, and I have lost 82 pounds now at this point. My weigh-in this morning, I was 167 pounds. And so that's sort of been my story. However, with the Mounjaro shortages, which are insane, my personal pharmacy cannot get anything other than 5 in right now. And that says a lot because he actually uses a different supplier than CVS and Walgreens. So he's usually able to keep up at least, or at least not have a long wait, but he's not been able to get anything besides 5 milligrams in all week. So I feel like that really says a lot about the shortage issue. And so with that coming up, with the increase of people who are diabetic, not able to find their Mounjaro, I just felt morally called to make a change as somebody who is just really trying to maintain and not trying to lose any more weight. So I made the decision and pulled the trigger, and I have switched to compound. This is the pack that I got in the mail. This is the tirzepatide here. Came with 6 syringes and a little instruction booklet and alcohol white pads. Now I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about the provider that I decided to go with, because I did look at several different telehealth companies. Not gonna lie, probably 15 of them that I emailed and asked questions about. I spoke to some of you all about different compounding pharmacies and telehealth companies to really, again, do my research. So the one that I ultimately decided to go with is Orderly Meds. Now, they are a newer one. Of course, they really all are relatively new just because it's a newer thing. But there are a few things that I liked about Orderly Meds. And now, before I say all of this, if you decide that you want to check them out, I will have a link in the description box that you can click. I'm not sponsored. I don't work with them. They don't even know that I have a YouTube channel, whatever. It does just get you $50 off a coupon, and it would get me a credit towards my next purchase, but I'm not sponsored, affiliated, whatever. They give everybody that code that signs up. So there are a few things that made me decide to go with Orderly. One, I feel like Orderly is really good for people who aren't necessarily looking for a lot of follow-up with the doctor. I have a doctor that is following my journey, that knows that I switched to compound, that is going to continue to run my blood work. And so I wasn't looking for that kind of support, although it is also there if you need it. So what I mean by that is that you're able to do text consults and then video calls as well. I did a text consult. I sent over all of the requested information that they asked for of me. And I talked back and forth a little bit with the doctor via text, and then they sent over my prescription, which I loved. I loved how easy it was. I loved how fast it was. It took me, I signed up last Saturday is when I really bit the bullet and signed up for a consult, and I got the medications yesterday, which was Thursday. So the total turnaround time was 5 days from when I scheduled a consult to when they were on my doorstep, which I think is amazing. I didn't even need them this week. I still had another shot of the branded Mounjaro left, so I didn't even need it, but now I'm a week ahead or whatever on my Mounjaro. So the quick turnaround time is definitely something I liked about them. Another thing that I like, again, you don't have to utilize their support services, but they do have a Facebook group that is very, very active in terms of people who are using their services and the representatives from the company. I have gotten responses from a couple of people that specifically Chris Sears, I think his name is, that he has commented on my post in the group, and he has emailed me back when I've had questions about things, and his response time was very, very quick, which I love. Like if you have a question, it's going to get answered quickly. Same thing with the text. They tell you to save their text number, and if you have a question about anything, just send them a text and they'll answer you back. So how it works is from Orderly, you get any strength dosage for $3.99 a month. There's no monthly subscription fee, which is different than a lot of them. Whatever your dosage, you pay $3.99, and that will never increase based on your dosage, which I, again, love. And then you can get the $50 off, obviously. So your first month would be $399. And then each month they prompt you to do a check-in, and you just do your check-in, and then they'll ship you your next month's medication, which again, I love. Now, there are a few reasons very specifically that I decided to go with with Orderly, and that is the pharmacies that they use. I mentioned in my last video that you want a pharmacy that is 503A certified. That means that they are regulated by the FDA to produce or compound injectable medications. So Orderly Meds uses two pharmacies that I really know of, Hallandale and Red Rock, which are both one of the better ones that you want. There's a few others as well, which I am going to make a video on, fully on that. But specifically, Orderly Meds uses Hallandale and Red Rock. Now, I shot a message to my cousin-in-law that I mentioned is a PA and owns a telehealth weight loss management company in Washington, and kind of asked her about those pharmacies, if she had any experience with them, what is going on. And she specifically said that those are two that she uses most often, actually, and that Red Rock specifically is the best that she has come in contact with for higher dosages. Now, you can't choose your pharmacy. It's pretty much just based on where you live, where they send your medicine to. But I kind of, honestly, I think it's more randomized than that, because, for instance, I live in North Carolina, Hallandale's in Florida, Red Rock is in Utah, and they sent mine to Red Rock, which you would think that Hallandale would be closer, but mine got sent to Red Rock. I'm not complaining about that because I'm on a higher dosage and they're better, from what I've heard, with higher dosages. So I got the 15 milligram Mounjaro, and that's what I'm going with. Now, I do think that I'm going to be injecting less than what they recommend you to, but I figured in my mind, I can build a stockpile, right? With some, if you leave the vialed medication in the refrigerator, it is good for, it has a 3-month shelf life from what I have read. Some people, okay, so the before use date, it says to refer to the vial. Okay, so my before use date is 5/9/2024. So that is, so it's a 2 months, like a 60-day-ish use on this one, specifically the one that Red Rock said. But there will be a before use date on every vial that you get, so you can check that out. So what that means is I am completely able to spread this out and inject a little bit less, as long as I keep it in the refrigerator and start to build a stockpile. And then in theory, you just need to use up the oldest vials first, right? So that is my plan. I went with 15 because that was what my most recent prescription from my doctor was, and because I could do that and start to build a little bit of a stockpile, and then I don't have to worry about any shipping delays or whatever going on. So that's kind of what my update is. Again, I'm not trying to lose any more weight. I just kind of want to maintain, and this is what we are going to go with. I feel morally better about it, knowing that I'm not taking Mounjaro from diabetics, even though I have a whole opinion on that. I do understand that diabetics need this medication for their life, and ultimately, that's just kind of how I feel about it. I do think that, you know, I have always said on my journey the entire time, if you've been following me from the very beginning, then you will know that I have always said that if it came to a point that I was potentially taking medicine from life-threatening diseases like diabetics, that I would go a different route. And this is when I finally feel like it is to the point where if I call every day and it's been 3 weeks since I've been able to get it, then I am potentially taking it from somebody who life-threatening needs it, like for their diabetes. I know people have different opinions on that. I know that obesity is a disease and that we need the medicine in theory just as much. I mean, we do need it just as much as diabetics do, but if we're talking about, in my opinion, two people, you need it this month to lose weight, you need it this month to live. That's kind of where I'm thinking and processing it in my mind. I don't want to take it from somebody who could potentially have life-threatening issues not having it. More immediate life-threatening issues, I should say. So that's kind of where my thought process is. And honestly, the stress of trying to find it every month was just getting to be too much for me. I just am not interested in that. So if you are looking for a telehealth company and you want somebody who is going to be as involved as you want them to be, then I would highly recommend Orderly Meds. They've been very fast, very responsive. I've gotten such good reviews, especially from my PA cousin-in-law about Red Rock Pharmacy and about Hallandale Pharmacy. So they're both really good according to her, and she's had great results for them. And I don't pay her, you know, like I'm not a customer of hers, and I'm family. So she's gonna tell me, you know, she's not going to be like, oh yeah, use them. It's no benefit to her to lie to me, you know? So I feel really good about that. My weigh-in this morning, as I mentioned, was 167. I will take the first dosage of this next week, and I will let you guys know like how it is going with that. Going forward, like we'll kind of start little updates with this switch onto how I'm doing on compounding. I've already taken my last. So what I did, I had a 15 milligram shot left, and my sister, who is on Mounjaro as well, she has a box that is being held for her, but she can't pick it up until Monday with how it worked out. So what we ended up doing was we split it. And so I injected it straight into a vial. She took 7.5, I took 7.5. I didn't add any back water. Since we were taking it right away, I drew up 0.25 milliliters for me, 0.25 milliliters for her. I don't necessarily condone sharing medicine, but she goes to the same doctor, has a prescription. I know she's on this. I know how she's, you know what I mean? I know how she's responded to it. So we split that one just so I didn't have to like mix it again and use it next week. And she had hers shot on her shot date or whatever. We just did it that way. So I've taken a shot for this week. We'll start compound next week. Let me know your thoughts on this. I want to hear all of your thoughts. I want to know if you've dealt with Red Rock Pharmacy before. I know that I've heard, if you Google it, there are things from all of the pharmacies, like their formulation didn't work for me. This formulation worked too well for me. This, whatever. They all use different formulations, so everybody is different. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I've actually heard several people say that the higher doses from Red Rock are stronger than the higher doses of the Mounjaro. Like the effects are worse on them. I don't know. We'll see. So that's my update, guys. Let me know what you think. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys. I'm going to be filming the blood work video next. So stay on the lookout for that one, where I talk about how my blood work has improved, what blood work I have done, and how often I have it done. That'll be the next video that you guys see. And until then, guys, I hope you have a great Easter weekend, a great weekend with your family. It's officially spring, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.